Welcome to Gamers Overnight. I'm your host, DevShades,
And I'm Z-Man.
and we're going to be playing some more Rust, and we're going to be doing some updates and letting you know what's going on in Rust. Rust has done some major changes recently, and looks like they're going to be doing some more major changes within the next few weeks. Looks like they're picking up their pace a little bit more, or either that or just finishing up what they've already been in the works with. So we're going to be going over quite a bit of that. If there's anything else y'all guys want us to start showing on our show, whether it's Rust or non-related to Rust, maybe even just other games or whatever, let us know. We'll take that into consideration. We always will check up on that. And we always want to make sure that y'all are enjoying the show. So we're going to be doing some basic stuff, going over the game we're playing, and then we're going to be also doing some general building in the game. I'm going to show you some builds. We did a trap house. We have several little tricks for you to do. At the same time as we're going to be doing some events on the server we play. I'm an administrator on one of the servers, so we're going to be doing some fun events to help with some of our players. And that's going to be later on in about an hour and a half or so. But first, let's go ahead and let's see. It shows and showing my game here. Let me switch over to. There we go. And there we go. That looks good. From there, we're going to look at the dev blog from last week, not this week. We're going to get to that one here in a moment, which will be 123. We're going to go ahead and go over that one since last of a broadcast. Since we do every 2 weeks, we're going to be doing 2 of these blogs every week. This is going to let you know what's going on in the game, what's changed since the last time we broadcast. At the same time is what you're looking forward to, because they've been putting things that's going to be going in the future in here, which is pretty nice of them. They don't have to do that, but it is something they've been doing. Basically, this first section is they've done a big, huge performance thing. They've changed. They're trying to work on the performances the last month or so, and they're trying to basically get the graphics and the CPU usage and the GPU usage, all that down into a nice little neat package that will run the system with more efficiency. Because anybody's played anything of this game originally, a legacy version of it, or even the older versions of it, know that this game was really crappy done when they first threw it together. It was not efficient for any computer. Even older computers just could not play well with others. So they're trying to fix all that, and they've been doing a really great job on it. I've been loving the updates they've been doing. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. On the first section here, we're going to do, it's got CPU performance, hidden players. Basically what they did is, and you'll see the screen here, these little black dots represent people that when you log in, and you can see them way off in the back there, people are sleeping, like it's not even online, and people that are online. So you literally log them even if you can't physically see them. So if they're in a building or so far away, there's no way in hell you're going to see them. They still log in, and they use frames to load in, even though they're not there. It takes you longer to load into the game because of that. So what they did is they went in and fixed it. They made it where only certain distances are relevant anymore. So unless you're looking in that direction, they won't pop up. Unless you're in a certain distance of them, they won't pop up. They won't even load in until then. So that a lot of other games already implement that. I mean, they have draw distance of sort, but they added draw distance for people. They didn't have that in this. It just was all loaded in at once, and that's how it was. And this was a huge performance thing. I mean, it was massive. They dropped it in here quite a bit, and like I said, the average improvement seems to be a 20 to 30% improvement. That is very impressive. And then got basically before and after pictures here.
Yeah, help me out. Yeah, if you look in the bottom left of those pictures, you can see frames per second. The before is 55 frames per second, and then after they fixed it, it's 74 frames per second.
Yeah, as you can see, there's a huge difference there. It even helped my wife. My wife plays this game, and she doesn't have a very good video card. She has a great computer, but not a very good video card. And she had to play this game on level 1. It actually allowed her to up it to level 2 in graphics because of this change alone, which is outstanding. You know, that shows how much of an improvement it is when you can up the graphics just because they do a graphic improvement on a lower end computer.
Yes, thank you, Debs. Thank you.
And whoever's taking these pictures is starving and dehydrating. They need to go to a buffet.
Yeah.
But it says basically they had to do the edges. If the player is sleeping and further than blah blah blah, it's disabled. If the player is alive and is further than you, basically disabled. If the player is closer, it opens it up. If you are arming and you aim in the general direction. So if you have a sniper rifle and you point to that direction, or a gun that in that direction, period, it loads them in. If the player is aiming in your general direction, so if they're aiming at your direction, they load in as well. So not only you looking that way, but if they look at you, it loads in. So that way, you know, in case you turn around real fast, they're already there.
Right.
If the player is behind you,
over.
it disables. Which this is something pretty good because if they're behind you, I mean, you're not going to be looking at them anyway because they're not on your screen. That's just kind of stupid to have it where they're loading in behind you and they're not there. I mean, every game I've ever played, that doesn't happen. It just took them a little longer to get the coding in right. That's all it was to it. And then they have the draw lines of players, various points on its body. If any part of their body can see us, it enables it. So if it's a toe in your visual range, then they load in it. Because honestly, I've killed people with a toe sticking out. It's pretty funny.
Right.
So I mean, this in generally was a great performance, and then CPU performance, shooting, and generally they rebuilt the entire models of how it hits you. So before this, you had like hit markers on you, like you had your hands with a circle, your arms, chest, legs, knees, even crotch. There's one for the crotch too in this game. It's funny because they demonstrated and a thing. One guy just demonstrated it on a modded server, which shows you those hit point areas, and there is one for the crotch. And they before were really broad, so you could actually like shoot them in the leg, and it would tell it was like the chest. Because it was such a big area, it just really couldn't tell. They narrowed it down such a fine point that if you shoot them in the foot, it's the foot. If you shoot them in the leg, it's the leg now. So they really narrowed it down really nicely, and I think that was a great job. And I'm seeing that quite a bit. After this build, we did a whole like I'm gonna kill you, you're gonna kill me in this building we built, and we could definitely see the difference in when you hit somebody with these markers. It was so much fun. CP performance, visible players. This is like basically showing the average and times. The lower this digit, the better. This digit was extremely high originally. It was like I think in the 10s to 12s. So bring it all the way down to 1, that is crazy good. I would still like it to be in these lower digits though, but I'm okay with it. Right now, it's working like it's supposed to. And there's more changes coming in. We'll talk about that. They took the double barrel shotgun and they improved it a little bit. They made it a little bit faster.
Thank goodness.
The damage on it. Reduced the firing rate, which it was like a 1 and they halved it, which was pretty good. They increased its damage a little bit. It was a .75 and they increased it to 1. It was equivalent to what the water pipe shotgun now in damage, but you get 2 shots instead of 1.
Right. Well, it is the Jerry Ray. It is the hillbilly's best friend, looking kind of good.
I'm Rust devs. I'm still waiting on that fully automatic shotgun. Yeah, yeah,
With the clip.
yeah. With little, you can even put a little barrel on it, you know, just boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. That's my favorite gun in all the other, shooter games I've ever played. I love that gun. Gun's sick. That was what we need.
Drum clip.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. They have semis, everything else, right? They have semi pistols, semi, rifles. Okay, so that leaves out bows and shotguns. Okay, so we need a rotator arrow gun. That would be awesome. And they need
Van Helsing type with the air. You just gotta pump up the air. That's all you gotta do.
and we need a semi shotgun. I mean, come on. It's just only fair.
Catapult.
Yeah, we need siege weapons. That would be awesome. Suck for us, but it would still be awesome to do. The supply drop tables, they've changed them quite a bit. They tweaked them. And we'll talk more on this in the next update with the 123. I think they tweaked it a little bit more.
Yes, they did.
So, but on this one, they tweaked it. They took it out. You get a lot of more ammos and stuff. And they say the worst of it. But I'm still seeing a few things that they really probably need to take out still. Some really useless stuff. So they probably need to tweak it a little bit more than they already have now. Other stutters, one problem with this exists that you may have noticed when walking around and the FPS would drop down significantly while loading in player's base for several seconds. This is an ongoing issue that we are working on, and we should be in the much better place performance when it is resolved. So it's something that they're trying, like, if you go in and say there's like a shitload of buildings, and a lot of them, big ones. All that's going to load in, and the problem is, like, when you go into it quickly, you get kind of a stutter. It's not something that's going to affect your performance, like, as far as play-wise goes, very much, but it's just like a split second, and it gets annoying after a while. It's not more of, like, it's going to hurt you, but it's more or less just annoying sometimes. I personally haven't really experienced it any, but if you get on a high popular server, a lot of people saying it happens quite often.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be really annoying, especially if you're assaulting a base and you run in and that split second is all it takes for them to put a bullet in your head.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't. I mean, everybody gets it though. It's not like you're just the only one stuttering. When it happens, the whole server does it, and that's why because everybody has to load it. If you load it in, everybody has to load it. It's weird how the system was. Hope that should be resolved though here in September with the next patch of Joy. Okay, the lighthouse, they're reworking it completely. Right now, I don't know if you've ever been in the lighthouse, but when you try to go up them damn steps they have in the lighthouse, it does not work very well.
Yeah, it's not your friend.
So they're reworking it completely. They're going to get a whole new look on it. I mean, it doesn't even look like this. It's completely different altogether. So what they're going to be doing is they're basically reworking the steps. They're reworking the outside and making it look different. I think it's going to looks from what they're doing, it looks like it's going to do really good. I personally don't really go around them, and I really don't see the purpose of a lighthouse. It doesn't really give you any loot but like 2 barrels. Caves give you more barrels than that. So I don't know what they're going to do with this. I mean, it's probably going to be something they're going to do with it, but as of right now, they're just kind of useless structures other than you just want to look out and about.
It'd be nice if you could go to the top of those and put fuel in them and like light them up, and it would you could like use it like a directional light.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Like crank it up and let it go,
Right,
or at least let you build on it. If you could build around it on it, that would be pretty cool too. Use it as kind of like your own building if you allow you to build into it. The other ones I can understand, but the lighthouse not being able to build around it, I don't understand that one.
Well, like I said, if they would just, especially on large maps, that when it's dark, when it's dark, that would be a huge advantage. Even if it just turned around, because that would light up the area around it.
Yeah, even if like it was a spotlight that just came around every few seconds, that would be nice.
Yeah, so if it's dark out and you think you hear something, you can light that sucker up and you can see out and see like who's coming, who's
and you
coming.
Gotta, in a way, okay. The other thing is a lot of these they're upgrading, like the lighthouse and the airport and so forth. These things have been in the game for a little while, and they were better textured at one point in time, but it was with the old coding, and the problem was when they switched over to new coding for this game, the old coding didn't work. So they're slowly taking out that old code and replacing it with new, and that's the reason why they're reworking all these places, because they just don't work with the new code. So they're reworking them, and they're adding new places in, like the military tunnels, for instance. This is gorgeous. Look at this. This looks and feels like a real tunnel.
That just, I played too many Resident Evil games. That just gives me the creeps. Because all I could figure is some zombie or friggin' like monster comes out around the corner and blah. I'll tell you what, that would be really pretty, dude. If you wore the new bone armor. Oh yeah, if someone came out with the bone armor just out of a dark corner in that tunnel, man, I'd scream like a little bitch.
Well, see, I don't know if you could even. I mean, because the bone armor's white. I mean, it would stick out.
Oh, that's another thing. Devs, dying colors. Let me paint the armor. Come on.
Yeah, the customing armor would be nice, like paint it. But I know there's skins. People make skins, and if they voted on them good enough, they allowed to implement them in the game. Maybe eventually in the future they'll be able to add colors to like skins that we can put on, like the buy for the bone armor and so forth. There's a few other ones like the plate armor, right? It's just plain Jane metal, and the face one's just plain Jane. Let us skin that, or let us do it, because that you can do some pretty cool stuff with the face one, and the chest one would be pretty cool too. I mean, you could put all kinds of cool little things on it. But I know that they're reworking those too, so I think that's the reason why they haven't did it, is as the item gets reworked and put in the game, then I think they allowed it to be skinned, I think that's how they're doing it.
Come on, I want to draw a smiley face on it.
You got server weapons verification now. So basically, all those hackers out there that was using modified weapons quite a bit, the verification catches them pretty quickly now. See, most things are client side, but what it does is when it goes into the server, now the server checks it.
Oh yeah, we found that out on the previous server. That was nice to have that little punk caught.
Okay, code lock interactions. This highly annoying bug, it was only possible to interact with code locks on external gates, on one side of the gates.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a noise.
My wife found us out recently. She was trying to authorize a gate that we put up, and she was like, "Why can't I authorize it?" I was like, "You have to go on the other side of the damn gate." So depending on how you flip it when you put it down, you may have to go outside the gate to authorize it, or go back in the inside to authorize it, depending on. Now that's not a problem no more, and I'm glad they fixed that. That was annoying as hell for the longest, because we use gates quite often, and that was pretty damn annoying. The bean can view model. Now they changed the way the bean cans throw, and I'm going to show you before and after here. This is the before action. And so you kind of see that how it was. Now this is going to be the after model. This is what they do now. Tell the difference in the hand. It's not way out here. It's more practical, and it threw it farther, it looks like. Okay, this is the model for the bone armor. This is the starting. They finally got this part rendered out. It's looking great, honestly. I think this is looks really, really nice. I like the way they're doing it, and I like the way it's coming around the chest area. A lot better than just having those random bones placed everywhere. I mean,
yeah, I'm sorry. That looks way more like plausible because the other ones they look like dinosaur or elephant bones. I mean, literally, there is. I mean, if my leg is, I couldn't imagine what my bone actually looks like, but it was like everyone they used an entire leg bone or something.
This is the 360 rendering model of it. Allows you to look pretty much at any angle you want.
I think that's very beautiful. Also, again, dying, please, dying.
Yeah, it's an off-white, so it's not as bright as the current one. Because the current one is, you can see them damn bones a while. They're white, man. They're like bleached white. These are more faded white, so these are more realistic looking. Because you know the oxidation of bones is going to make it kind of tar a little bit. So this is going to be a lot more feasible overall. I don't like the fact is though the bone armor currently in the game covers the thigh area right here, and there's nothing here. So I'm hoping they'll resolve that. I didn't check the 123 if it did or not, but I think it did, but I'm not sure. We'll look at that here in a moment. And then they have the LR300 assault rifle, which is everybody's kind of waiting for. Now, it's kind of speculation on how you're going to get this gun. Some say it's going to drop randomly, super rare in the chests and boxes through the world. Others says it may be another item that comes off the helicopter, or only a exclusive admin give out weapon. We don't know yet. We'll have to see. It's very nice looking, and generally we're going to look at the 3D model of it here. It's got a nice little back end for shoulder rest. It flips out and in. Got a nice banana clip going on there. Good hand grip. Looking down the barrel. That would really suck getting that view right there. But it looks really, really nice. It's really, really well done. I think they did an excellent job on that. The double barrel shotgun sounds, they kind of toned it down some. It was a little too loud, which I'm so glad they took care of that. The music, they've been making it less creepy, because it has been really creepy lately.
I'll second that one.
This is the sunrise music. So when the sun rises, this will kick in. Give a little thing of that. And then this is something I personally like, and since they first mentioned it, is the player vending machine concept. This was something that one of the community members just kind of suggested and threw around. It was kind of funny. And so one of the artists, the game makers, went ahead and made this design, just playing around with it, not thinking anything really much of it. And now they're going to start making it a concept. And the great thing is, if you see looking here, it has this whole, like the CRTV, you know, the old type text in it. And they're going to actually try to implement that in. They want that. That's one of the things that the actual Gary wants to implement into this game, is that texting. So he's going to see if he can get that skinning working in the game for us when they make them. And these are going to be a really interesting concept. And from my understanding of how it basically works is you would put what items you would want into the machine to give to other players, and then they would come and trade out basically items for them. And it's pretty cool way of doing trading. I think it's pretty cool. The only thing I have a problem with is this going to be destroyable? If it is, it kind of defeats it, because if you put this machine out, somebody's going to come break it. I mean, it's just going to happen. So it kind of defeats the whole purpose of having it in there, you know?
Yeah,
so
it'd be nice. I think if they added I think if they added that, but if they added a third setting to the turrets, you could place turrets around it, and as long as you walk up on it without a weapon out, of any kind. As
Yeah.
long as you don't have something in your hands,
Some
the turrets
protection.
won't shoot you.
Yeah, I
so
thought about
way-
that too. Like put 2 turrets beside it. The problem is then they can shoot it from a long distance because the turrets are not long distance ranged,
Right.
and they can just shoot it from long distance so it breaks, and then walk up to a butt naked and grab everything. And
Maybe they could make it so that way the only way to break it is if you use C4.
yeah,
But no rocket. Will
I don't
penetrate
know
it. It's
how
super
they're gonna do
defensible.
it. I mean, it's an interesting concept. Maybe even, honestly, I maybe put it inside of a building. Put turrets all on the inside of the building, so if they do anything to it, they're pretty much screwed. They can't get out fast enough.
Right.
And it
Or
kind of
have-
shortens the range they have to get to it.
Or have a little R2D2 arm in there. Every time they hit it, it comes out and zaps them. Zzz.
But it's interesting. I can't wait till it comes in. Let's see how it is. I mean, even if it can be destroyed, it's still a really good concept because on our server we kind of cater to the new players as well as players just generally. And this would be a good thing to put into like the start, like when we can find where they spawn in at, and put these machines there. And they can go and like cut trees down or stone and put it in there and get higher items for themselves right off the bat.
Right.
They overhaul the graphics. These are some shots looking at the graphic overhaul they're working on. They've been working on it for a month or two.
Which are beautiful, by
and
the
they're
way.
coming close. The goal is to get it out on the September 1st update, which is the wipe section. They're looking at trying to get this out. And if you look at these are gorgeous. I mean, they are just simply outstanding. The detail is really, really great on these. Uh-oh. How do I go back? Okay. That's weird.
One thing I would like to see though, as I look at these, like the lamps that you can hang up on your ceiling, it would really be nice, devs, if you do hear this or see this, if you have directional lights too. Like if I want to put one on outside of my building and like aim it out on my front porch instead of having to build an something over it to aim down.
A spotlight.
Yeah, something like, yeah, just like a sensor light. How about something like that?
Yeah,
If you
slap
ever-
a camera on one of those light fixtures, it comes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
you
nice.
know someone's out there.
They're thinking about implementing cameras in the game in generally. So, I mean, if
that'd
that
be
concept
wonderful.
comes in, that would be pretty neat. I don't know how they're going to work on that. Do you like...
They'd have to add in the TV.
Yeah, and then to top it off, if you have to defend it where even if they do break in your base, they don't destroy it. Destroy the evidence of them being there. So, I'm not sure how that's going to work. This is
That would be
going to be
interesting.
Deb... Go ahead.
That would be interesting. You have a little DVD recorder. Have it hidden somewhere in your house, and then they gotta find it.
Well, yeah, a lot of things is like a lot of times people breaks in when you're offline. You don't know who it was. This will kind of help with that quite a bit because the offline rating has been on its high lately more than anything else. So
Cowards.
after we get done with this one, I have a little trick on the trade. My trap house to resolve that offline rating crap. Okay, so this is devblog 123. This is the most recent one, just came out. They re-added the research workbench. I do not like this. I do like the fact they added it back in, but do not like how they did it. It's crap. Bullshit. Literally bullshit. Basically, you go out and you get these papers called research papers. Instead of blueprints, but it's called papers. And you take them and you take an item and you go to the workbench with it, and it's just like the old blueprint system. You put it in there, and you have a 30% chance of it working. You add more papers in it, and you get 100%. Now, instead of what the old blueprint system was, where you unlocked it so you can craft it later as much as you want, this system gives you a certain amount of these crafting credits per se, and if you use them and craft them but you still have to have the materials, by the way. You can make the items so many times and then it's gone. Well, the downside of it is if you do it again on the same item, it gives you less of them. So say you do it like 3 times. On the 3rd time, you literally only get like 1. So on the 4th time, it wouldn't even be worth doing anymore. That's bad because like there's really no difference than if you'd be more better spending your time just leveling so you can make it out right anyway. Yeah, you get a little bit earlier, but honestly, if you got to still spend the materials for it, you're probably going to be leveling up anyway, enough to be able to make it anyway.
Now, if it gave you like an extra boost or something, maybe towards XP of making a higher level item,
right?
Maybe it might be worth it.
Yeah, but it's and to top it off, these papers are extremely rare. I went and literally farmed every place in the entire map, and I only got like 20.
That's funny. I hit a barrel last night and got 1 right off the bat.
Well, they're not even supposed to. They're not even supposed to be in barrels. They're supposed to come on crates only.
Oh, maybe it was a crate. I don't remember.
You know that.
No, I'm pretty sure it was a barrel.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I got a few out of barrels too, but that was another thing. Is they said, oh, these are going to be in crates, and I'm like, crates? I'm getting them out of barrels. What the hell? And they are rare though. They are very, very rare. And the problem is, that's another thing, and this is kind of bullshit too. It's limited durability. So even if you craft the damn things, they're gonna break within a few hits.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. What the?
If you got a blueprint or something,
who's gonna waste their time doing this? I mean, honestly.
You gotta be really.
The durability is crappy to begin with. Because, like, once it's broken, if you go and repair it, it cuts the durability really bad. So, you're not even going to want to repair this at all, ever. Not even once. You're just going to throw it away. I don't... They need an item that brings the durability back up. That's what they need. They need something that you can make the durability go up.
A super repair bench.
Yeah.
A nano forge.
I think if they want to try to do that, they really honestly need to bring the blueprint system back in just like it was OA and add the level and experience system together. That would be perfect. That's what they need to do. Again, face punch. That's what you need to do.
But if you do it, make the drops form a little more rare. Especially the high.
It was already no. I wouldn't say make them rare because honestly they were hard to begin with. That was one of the biggest complaints. People would literally spend hours and hours busting barrels and chests, and it'd be literally like a roulette in your head with a bullet to get the item you want because that's how bad it was of getting the items. No, keep it the same. Keep it just like that. But if people were actually really want to go do that, let them go do it. You know, but at the same time as you can get it by just going out leveling. So I think they should need to implement them both back in. It satisfies both parties and makes people want to go out anyway to go to these areas just for randomly chance of getting something decently good.
Yeah, while you're doing that, you're also leveling.
Yeah, so it's a win-win situation. I mean, you can't, by putting the blueprints back in the system just like it was, you can't really go wrong. If both of them together, the systems will be Coriolanus Spry. It would bring back the whole sandboxy thing because you can do whatever you want. You can either level or you can go do that. So you're not just stuck with one. So it does bring the whole sandbox thing back in, and that's what he's like torn between right now. So honestly, that's what they need to do. They just need to add it in just like it was. I think that system would work. I think a lot of people would be super happy about it because so many people have bitched about it. They fixed a few things. The hollow sight glass has been removed. It was kind of hazy when you looked through it, especially at dark. And you really couldn't see what you was aiming at very well. They completely removed the glass like any other game. Every other game, there's no glass actually in it. It's just actually just a hovering little dot. as a representation of glass. You know, like, because glass is see-through. Their glass was more like you looking through a old tinted pop bottle. I mean, it was horrible.
Made me laugh.
I do like it. I use it quite often now, more often than I did before, because of that reason. And it's a little easier to, look through. And generally, the candle hat was having an issue. They fixed it. I'm not exactly
What
sure
was
what
the issue?
When implemented the performance fix last week, so it'll be the one before this one, that prevented the player model rebuilding when everything in the inventory changed, rather actual clothing changing. This also meant it would ignore the state of the hat, so the hat couldn't be turned on.
Oh, that sucks.
So,
And the minor hat.
It said change the light, and it's like, so it is now fixed, and everyone can continue never unlock or use either of these items. And he says that because if you're in a popular server, you don't want to light up your area. Light on your head equals target.
Hey, I don't care about. You know what?
Shoot the light, get a headshot.
Right. I don't know about. Oh, well, what about a vest light?
Yeah, right. You still don't want to get shot. It's still a vital spot.
Right.
Put it on my wrist, man. Hit my hand, okay? I'm cool with that.
But wait, you went the little house shoes with headlights.
Yeah, put me a light on my feet and my hands, and I'm okay. You know, I can shoot those and I won't die instantly. Shoot me in the chest or head, I'm gonna die quick.
Well, if you're wearing the metal armor at that point, and you should be good for at least 2 shots.
That's if. I don't know, if you're wearing a headlight, man, you're not really wearing much armor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
right.
and also it's a cloth, right? Cloth or leather, right? So it's going to literally take one shot with the headlamp. I mean, it does no protection whatsoever, and you can't put anything else on. So boop boop, you did. If you have a chest, you could probably, if they made it into the chest armor, or at least allow you to wear it with it, that'd be different. Because that would probably counter quite a bit of that damage. But no, with cloth head, you have no protection. You might as well be running around butt naked, because it's individual piece where it hits. They did weapon balancing, and this one I love. The bolt action base damage is increased to 75, which I'm not sure if I love that or dislike that, but I know the bolt action has been a little weaker lately because of the armor changes. So this might amp that up a little bit. From my understanding, if you get a headshot, you just double the value. So it'd be 150 if you hit them in the head. So 150 damage, then minus the armor damage that you would do for both of those hits. And that's what you would be accumulated. So it'd be more close of killing them outright than before. So it'd be closer to the 2-shot kill than, 3 or 4.
Unless you add explosive rounds.
This is base damage. This is without calculating the extra type of ammo you put in it.
Yeah. Extra punch.
The AK base damage was increased to 50. Awesome, but really a bitch to aim with that motherfucker. I just don't like it.
Yeah, it was so
I mean,
funny.
I see people use it all the time in videos, but every time they use it, they're not using it far away, or if they are, they're like tap.
Right. It's not. It needs like a burst mode or it needs to have a 3-round burst or a semi-auto mode.
It just needs to tone down the kickback. A real AK does not have nowhere near that bad of a kickback. You might as well be shooting an elephant gun. You know what I mean? It's like, ah! That's exactly. It's like, ah! It's gone.
Oh, it was funny, folks. We didn't get it on video, but I wish we could have. Death is like, I want to try this on this bear here. He's trying to shoot it. This gun went straight up in the air. He couldn't hit the bear.
The fucking, I started shooting him, and it's just like, whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm like, okay, the bear's in front of me, not up here. And I was like tapping it, like tap, tap. I was just doing double taps, right? It's like tap, 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 tap. I'm like, what the fuck?
You might as well throw the rockets at the motherfucker.
I'm pissing at the motherfucker to be doing more damage. And we did this experiment. Me and Pumping Iron did an experiment and with that AK, and literally it is so inaccurate because of the kick. It's really hard to hit something. The semi-auto pistol does equal damage, way less kick. It does decrease the distance quite a bit, but honestly, it's just a better weapon altogether. I just love it. It's really nice. Very fluent, very quick shooting. So it shoots really rapidly. And if you put the silencer on it, that bitch is quiet. The auto rifle goes up to 40. The bad part about it is like it's supposed to be the auto version of the action rifle. So there's supposed to be a sniper one. It goes up to 40. Has more shots, but it does quite a bit less damage.
Right.
And so that one's kind of out of the whole realm of being good.
Hey, we got someone chatting on our chat.
How you doing, Powerful Half? Power Half. How's it going? Welcome to our channel. And then you got the Thompson base damage, which is 37.5, which is an increase. It's a nice increase for a Thompson. The revolver base is 37.5.
That thing's actually accurate as hell. I love it.
The revolver?
Yeah, I just wish you could attach a laser sight or something to it.
Yeah, it's really long distance too, surprisingly. It can hit its targets for really long ways. And then you got the SMG base, which is 30. Now, it may be the lowest of them, but I love the SMG. It's very, very accurate. No kick. When it does kick, it's straight back, so you really don't lose your target very well. And surprisingly, you can...
Hello.
Thanks for the follow.
Thank you for the follow.
And you'll see you have the SMG. I've literally sniped people out of a window when we was raiding them, and I couldn't do it very well with the bolt action because the guy kept popping his head in. But with the SMG, I get him pretty good with it because it was consistent, and I like that gun. It's just I don't like the fact that it breaks very fast, but I do like the gun generally. It's definitely a nice little gun to jump somebody with. So my favorite three, or favorite four, we'll say my favorite four weapons in the game. My favorite four weapons is I love the bolt action, the sniping distance, and generally it's just really nice. I love the semi-auto pistol.
I know you do.
I love the SMG, and I love the pump shotgun. Pump shotgun is the ultimate close range weapon. It's definitely something if you're aiming towards their head, they're screwed. But the SMG is a good medium weapon. The pistol is a little bit of everything. It doesn't do very good distance, so it's like medium short range is really good, and it does a lot of damage. So it's really good just to carry it around. And generally, I've killed bears with it quite often lately since this change, and I'm really loving it. It's just a really nice, well-rounded thing. And plus, the ammo is not too hard to make on it. Same thing with shotgun. The ammo's not too hard to make.
Power Half says the semi-auto and Thompson is the best for him. He likes the bolt and the AK for him.
Well, it's probably I mean, that's great. I just don't like them in generally. When it comes to performance, I look at more performance there. The Thompson is good to a degree, but the problem is the Thompson has an inaccuracy thing where it misses every so many shots, and I just don't like that. I want to hit every shot. If I'm tapping it slowly enough, it should hit, not randomly miss just because of an algorithm. Just don't like that.
Do you know that the pump with slugs is a sniper? Yeah, I know that.
Actually, the funny part about the slugs, it's not a one projectile like a bullet.
It's not truly a slug.
Yeah, this game has it as a 3 to 4 shot projectile. So it's like a smaller version of the 12 gauge.
It's like they put a giant, like a super choke barrel on it.
Yeah, so it's not really like you can say it's like a sniper, but honestly, it's just more of a smaller spray. It's just all it is more condensed spray. It does shoot slightly further, but honestly, not much. They really kind of need to rework that one. I don't know too many people actually use them efficiently, so they really need to rework that quite a bit. The effective range. Okay, changed the way everything falls off. Okay, so the bolt-action rifle, the AK, the semi-rifle. Now, when you shoot it, when it comes out of the barrel, it comes out at low damage. As it increases, it gets higher damage to its maximum point, and then the further it goes after that point, the damage decreases again until it falls off 0. So there's a basically sweet range and distance for those weapons, and that's what they're designed for. Now, the opposite of that spectrum, the pistols and Thompson's, revolver, SMG, and those more close quarter range ones, they made it where it's the opposite. When it comes out the barrel, it comes out full strength, and then it falls off for its distance. I think this is great. Honestly, I think that's how it should have been to start off with. And it makes the pistols and the closer range weapons more viable than they used to be. A lot of people didn't want to use them because of that reason, because you just couldn't tell the damage, how it was going to go out, So a lot of people just use the pump just because of that reason. So it makes these a little bit more viable than before. Now they also have the projectile and player net codes. This allows them basically to verify things that get sent from the client to the server from projectiles and players. So people hacking or changing variables, or you using scripts, which is kind of like scripts are kind of like macros, kind of sort of, and they do things that they put commands in the game that the game understands, but necessarily you wouldn't, because it's not like you can just like a macro does. You do it by your keyboard or mouse. A script does it by coding. So it sends out coding to the game telling it to do something, and the game will do it because it's coding. It thinks that it's supposed to do that. And, well, people abused it, and now they can't fix that issue. It's done. Combat logs, they made it where now you can basically, if you're an admin, and I think you can maybe be able to do this if you're not, you can check your combat log in your F1 and see actually how everything performs. So you can see these changes they've done. You can see it firsthand. You can see if you did the proper damage in the proper range. I'm loving it. I really am. This gives a lot more. You can figure out how everything works, so you can get the optimum performance of your character, so you know what you needed for sure and what situations. I like that. Entity pooling, basically just the frame rate, it helps with that. It's they're trying to make that a little bit more sustainable. Server gameplay customizations. This basically allowed some new commands in the game. If you're an admin or an owner of a server, you can type these commands in, and you can actually change the values. So if you don't like the damage, the way it's done, or if you don't like something else, you can actually go in and change these values. They're all set at 1 to start off with, and I think it goes up like a scale, like 1 to 10. But actually, on our server, I was thinking about talking about some to the other people on our server and see if they would like to have the melee increased, so it gives melee more boost. Because right now, melee is almost practically non-existent. It's guns or nothing. And you just don't want to run up a guy with a gun with a hatchet, because you're gonna die. Well, this is for player. It's player damage only. But I can up it a few notches, and say you run up to a guy with a gun. If you hack him twice with a hatchet, he's gonna die, like it's supposed to be. Compared to like hitting him like 6 times and then he dies. So, or he shotguns you in the face after you hit him once. I mean, kind of evens the playing field.
What the heck how the heck did you get the game if it's not on Steam? Where do you get this game if it's not on Steam? Because he said he got the game, but it's not. He didn't get it on Steam, so his updates are not instant.
He probably got the legacy version. If you can get the code from your legacy version, the original version, you got it off of the original website, which you can. There is a way to look into your gaming to find that. I'm not exactly sure how to do it. You could probably look it up, Google it. You can get your game code, your CD key type thing, from that, and actually implement it into Steam, and Steam will unlock it for you that way. And that will give you your updates instantly. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe Face Punch also issued quite a while back a thing where you can contact them directly, and they will actually send you a CD key that puts in Steam for you to unlock it. That was a while back, so I don't know if they still do that or not, but you might be able to contact them and find out. That definitely would be something I would look into, because honestly, you really want to do that. Anybody's own legacy gets the early access automatically, so I would definitely look into that.
Right.
Server interaction checks. Again, this is a whole thing where it checks and makes sure everything's good. The old mines. This is a new tunnel system they're trying to do in, and they're trying to make it look good when they implement it in. And so far, it's looking really nice. I think some gunplay and other stuff in these will be really good, or even some nice melee fights would be awesome in this.
Close quarters combat.
Again, there's some more lighthouse stuff they've done. You can tell they're a little bit more detailed there. They finally got the model of it done, and now they're trying to get the actions before putting it in a game, which means it's pretty darn close of actually being implemented. And here's what that looks like for loading. It just stopped randomly. That's weird. Let me go into that back real fast. Okay. It's not too bad on reloading. That muzzle flash, God, that's gonna be hard to make it aim. It looks like it has similar kick to what the SMG does, which I love. And I'm hoping that does have that way.
Just for that, it's not going to do it for you.
There's the model of the silencer on the end. The big bulky ass silencer.
Hey, that silencer may be bulky, but it works.
It's really bulky. I mean, that thing sticks out like a big old sore nose, man. If you're behind a wall or something, it's gonna stick out. Now here's the new bone armor. They finally added the deer skull helmet to it, and I think they did an excellent job. If you notice, like right in here, where they actually have like the straps going through the eye holes that pulls it nice and tight. I think this is really cool. I think this is gonna look really good. It's something that they've been talking about. What I want, okay, they already have a wolf mask. Now they have a deer mask. I want a fucking bear mask. I want to own the motherfucker on my face that I kill, because payback's a bitch.
what would really be funny is if they added it to like camouflage.
Just put it on and like you just kind of kneel down and it makes you look like a bear. You pop back up. Ah!
Yeah, skin him and use his pelt as a hiding mechanism.
Yeah, that would just be like just the guy like I'm just a bear. Let's see here, and then like chop out.
Now I'm a bear with an automatic machine gun.
There's the actual in-game concept. What they've done, they polished it off and got it in the vending machine itself, and it's looking outstanding. And here he mentions, as well as he wants to get that arcade type prototype on the screen like that previous one we showed. They want to try to actually implement that into it, and I think it's awesome the way it looks. I like the backing of it. It has this whole little vault thing. You have a thing for the side. You can open up like a regular vending machine, and then you have the whole handle drop box thing at the bottom where you can pick out your weapons and stuff. I think that's really, really nice. I just think it's a really good concept. Admins could really have some fun with this. They could just implement like lots of resources into this thing, just to help out with players. I think that's a really good concept. I just like to know how they're going to do it and how it's going to work, and generally would be nice to know.
You've got mail.
They polished the sound some more. They made birds a little bit quieter, or they took out some bird sounds. They made the wind a little bit quieter. They've changed a few of it up, made it more realistic. They took the crickets and took the sound out and implemented different cricket sounds in to make it more realistic sounding. They did a whole basically kind of an overhaul of the sounds that you hear through the game, and I think it's a really, really nice improvement in the game. Because I do play with the sounds on, I don't play with the music on, because I like to hear footsteps, people coming up at me. So I think the overhaul was so far has been pretty nice on that. This is something that's really big, and this is the last of it. Future of the XP system.
This has got Death here crankier than hell.
He says that they're leaning towards the whole thing needing a rethink. In some ways, the experience system is the enthusiast of the Rust was all about. So they wanted it, but it's not working like they wanted. They're thinking about taking it out. Removing blueprints, or this has been suggestions regarding completely removing blueprints and experience. So instead of adding them both in, they're going to take them both out, just throw them out.
Well, then how
they
the hell
fuck this all. And either A, just make it, you find it, you craft it, it's there, no big deal. You have the materials, craft it. Doesn't matter what level you are, level 1, 20, whatever. There's no level. Or rework them all together is what they're wanting to do. So it's kind of thrown up in the air, but this is basic. So it is a possibility in the future that the experience system goes bye-bye. So prepare yourself for that one. There's no telling when they're going to do this, but he has mentioned it. So he's not sure. But he says if he takes it all out, there will be a problem.
Because it's the main code, isn't it?
No. People rage quitting. Because think about it, right? If it's a full component system where you go and find the materials and you make all your stuff, but then somebody raids you. You literally start off just like you spawned in the game, with nothing.
What if... That's a good one. What if they... Now, this is just a suggestion. What if they did something... Like, if they do want to get rid of the XP system, I'm still against it. But if they do get rid of the XP system and they want to do a blueprint type thing, what if they make it so that way you... if you find a camera or you craft a camera, quote unquote, I know right now they're just used for in-game pictures and stuff and they ain't really useful. But what if they used the camera, if you see something like a building or something, if they use the camera as a way to make blueprints? Like if they took, like if you get a gun or you find a gun, but they would have to make the actual gun out into the real world instead of just a little drop bag or something. But if you see it, you could put it on the bench and you could take a picture of it, and then you could learn the schematic permanently that way. Like you could, then you can make a piece of paper, take a piece of paper, make a blueprint, and then you can learn the blueprint.
Yeah, well, that's kind of similar to what the research bench was in the blueprint system. That's exactly what it did. You took the
Right.
item, put it in there, and you could possibly make it forever for after that.
But that's blueprints right off the bat.
Right.
That
They could just implement it where you put it in there, researches it, you get it out. You know, good to go. But change it into like the picture setting. I mean, that would work perfect. That's definitely more viable than what they're gonna just take everything and throw it all to hell. But to be honest, though, this whole full component thing kind of works overall because a lot of games that if you get killed and people can take your gear, that's how it is. You have to start back over from scratch. So it kind of makes you more cautious of just jumping into PvP.
Right.
So you won't just gun ho it in and say, "Oh well, I just lost." No big deal. It will definitely make you think twice.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Of course,
But that's about where they're at, though.
right. I mean, the only downside is it kind of